Sir Samwell tries to sword, or why I can no longer have neckbeard free time. The Tales of Lady SABRE. Here are the players in the story. Player 1, me, Lady SABRE, still 16 years old, a foreign exchange student, undergoing extensive culture shock therapy, very avid fencer, been doing it for about 10 years. Player 2 and 3 are my fencing coaches. Immigrants from Hungary, really fantastic people, husband and wife couple. Mr. Coach is a big guy with a thunderstorm of a voice. Mrs. Coach is petite, still yells louder than Mr. Coach, is spooky quick, and always gives one-on-one instruction with people, even in group lessons. They're minor characters, but they rock. Player 4 is Sir Samwell Smooth Cheeks. How I wish it wasn't. He's a big, sweaty mouth breather that usually smells like death. His typical attire includes grungy graphic tees, sandals, cargo shorts with pockets full of old pasta and meat sauce. Either that or he bathes in it. Not sure, but the smell is pungent. Sam's mother, Mrs. Sam, is a minor character, but she shows up more often down the line, so I'll detail her. Curly hair, feminine build, wears mom jeans, very warm and friendly, but I guess this is stereotypical of suburban moms. This story occurs about 1 week after my last encounter with Sir Sam. To recap, last time I gave him the contact information for my fencing classes. I might as well have given Sauron the Ring too. I want to give a bit of context first. When I'm practicing, I make zero attempt at my appearance. Makeup of any kind will mix with sweat and turn into acne soup on my face, so I go without makeup. My hair is done up in a bun and my chest is squished into a sports bra. Seriously guys, it's very unmilady-like. Practice starts at 5 p.m. and ends at 7:30 p.m. I'm there earlier to use the gym or go running before class, usually for 45 minutes. Today I run, making 2 circuits around the cross-country track and make it back to the building with maybe 10 minutes before class. And there he is. Sir Sam lumbers from the backseat of a minivan and my heart lurches. He's actually wearing sneakers in lieu of his typical sandals, but not without cargo shorts, a Call of Duty shirt, and fingerless gloves. I think that neckbeards always wear a minimum of neckbeard gear. Oh, and that fedora? Yeah, he had a different one. It was some kind of awful reddish color. I have a suspicion that it started out as white and he used it as a ravioli receptacle. Not sure. As I make my approach back to the building, he gives me a full arm wave. He says something as I run by, but I keep going through double doors to get to the gym area, to walk a lap as a cool down and take a drink of my water. I'm running a solid high of endorphins. I'm finishing my lap when Sir Sam makes a grand entrance. He tries pulling the door, then pushes it open by thrusting his shoulder against it. He stumbles inside, panting from Lord knows what. Sir Sam is miffed.
What was all that for?
What do you mean?
You just ran right past me. You didn't even wave back. Why would you invite me here if you wouldn't even want to talk to me?
Sorry, Sam, I was just in my groove. He stays mad and fee-fi-fo-fums over to the water fountain. The tall one doesn't work, and the short one puts out a stream that you can't get a drink without suckling the spout. He gives up on that and turns to me, asking if I have any water. I still don't know what for. I contemplate letting him touch his face hole to my water bottle and likely backwash into it. I'm feeling intimidated by him, though, so I offer the one I drank from. It's almost empty anyway, and I think a bottle of bleach is enough to clean it.
No, you already drank from that one.
I know, gross, right? Before this escalates, Mr. and Mrs. Coach come out of the office area to see who's making a fuss. Mrs. Coach introduces herself to Sir Sam and his mother, who's parked and has come inside. A few other people are trickling in. We have about half a dozen regulars in the advanced class and 10 or so who are beginners. Mrs. Coach takes Sir Sam back to the equipment room to get him a set of gear. Mrs. Sam turns to me. Are you Lady SABRE? Yes, how do you know my name? Sir Sam has told me all about you. Fantastic. Oh, okay. He says you two got to be really good friends at school. I bet he did. I'm about to explain that we played one strained chess game before Mr. Coach calls me up for warm-ups. We line up side by side for stretching. Guess who's on my right? Both classes are taught in the same room, so I resign myself to having him hover near me for the rest of the evening. Stretches become a horror show. Everyone has varying flexibility. The idea is to untie all of your muscles and ligaments so we can practice. For Sir Sam, it's a competition. He nearly gave himself an aneurysm reaching his knees. Practicing lunges was even worse. I have a very long lunge. My hips drop down nearly to the floor and my back leg is fully extended. It's weird and it has its drawbacks, but it's just my thing. Sir Sam tried this once and fell over. I'm pretty sure it registered on the Richter scale. Oh, did I mention he's wearing the fedora? He's still wearing the fedora. Eventually, It gets too cringy even for Mr. Coach, who tells him to set it aside. This continues for a whole hour. Sir Sam has pretty much given up trying to talk to me. He's huffing and puffing, red-faced and soaking himself in sweat. I feel a little sorry for him putting all of this effort in and not getting any action. Footwork practice was also hard to watch. If you want to get a picture of what Sir Sam looked like, just imagine King Arthur from Monty Python doing his gallop. Got it? Okay, now imagine King Arthur is a hippopotamus about 3 French fries and a Diet Coke away from a heart attack. That's what it looked like. Relish that for a moment. After warm-ups, we're supposed to do drills. These are designed to improve your technique. Before though, we change into our fencing uniforms with all our protective gear. Usually, we all change in the gym, being that no one is actually getting naked. However, I am in no mood to have Sir Sam see me in any form of undress, so I gather up my wad of clothes and I hit the lockers. When I get back, Sir Sam is still dressing himself. The snug-fitting pants won't accommodate both of his legs and his oversized cargo shorts. I didn't want to watch, but I just couldn't look away. Getting his jacket on was equally difficult. His arms just don't bend that way. Mrs. Coach is standing right there with him, helping the good sir dress like a loyal squire. After all of this, he whines about having to wear the fencing glove instead of his own fingerless wonder grippers.
These are better designed for traction.
I wish I was joking. The legitimate fencing glove was unacceptable as well, being too tight and
making my hand have claustrophobia.
Eventually, he sucked it up. We pair off for drilling. Sounds twisted, I'm sorry. These tend to be specific to the weapon you're using. I'm making it worse, aren't I? So, foil fencers work with foil fencers. EPEE works with EPEE. You get the idea. The SABRE group is an odd number, so 3 of us decide to rotate so we can each take a turn. Sir Sam is quite distant, being in the beginning of the foil group. It's almost like I have my sport back to myself. Yeah, as if. The foil group is also an odd number, so Sam slinks away from them and approaches me. I'm saved by the call to switch for 10 minutes until I rotate out. Sir Sam is waiting for me.
Hello, Lady Saber. Has anyone ever told you look really good in?
He pauses here for a second, like he didn't think this compliment through before finishing
that jacket.
At first, I took it as a genuine compliment until he raises his weapon. My mask isn't down, so this totally freaks me out. I think I might have yelled and makes a jab at my chest. He didn't connect. I brought my blade up, caught his weapon on the outside, and rotated my blade in a circle. He let go, and his foil goes skittering across the floor into the wall.
What did you do that for?
Sir Sam squeaks. He goes very quickly from scared to angry. Mr. Coach comes over asking what happened.
Lady Saber just knocked my sword out of my hand for no reason.
Mr. Coach turns to me. I'm sorry, he just made an extension at me when my mask was up and I reacted. Mr. Coach gives Sam a glare.
I didn't mean to, I was just playing.
I have the urge to offer cheese with that wine. Mr. Coach is pretty pissed. He tells Sam to pick up his weapon. He saunters away and avoids me. Finally, for the rest of practice. I got to finish the last 45 minutes in peace. I almost forgot he was there until I'm peeling off my sweat-drenched uniform. My face is flushed, my legs are sore, I smell like a wet dog, everything's going great. Cue Sir Sam. He comes up behind me while I'm wiggling out of my pants.
Do you need some help there, miss?
I turn around to see the whitest knight doth require, and he looks like he's been out in a rainstorm. His shirt is drenched, his thick cargo shorts are soaked with sweat, and his hair under his fedora looks like a used mop. He might be a festering corpse for his stench. I hold my breath while I pull off my fencing pants in the least sensual way possible. I leave my high fencing socks on. I was not bending down or taking a knee in front of him to remove them. Spaghetti breath is still panting. I pack my stuff into my bag and stand up to go, praying that my ride will be outside. Sir Sam is in front of me.
I'll take that for you.
Indicating my wheeled carrying bag. It's okay, I got it, Sam.
Please, I insist.
He grabs the handle with sausage fingers and I let him take the handle, just wanting to be out of here. We're both waiting for the other to go until he says,
After you, my lady.
I walk with him trailing behind me and I make a quick glance in the mirror. Sure enough, this Creeposaurus Rex is staring straight at my butt without a care in the world. Also, my top is halfway translucent from sweat. Awesome. My ride isn't outside yet. Even though I'm 16 years old, I can't get a license and drive in America for liability reasons, so I have to wait for my host family to come pick me up. Sir Sam's mother is there though, but he doesn't leave. I tell him thanks for carrying my stuff and he offers to wait with me
To make sure you get home safe.
It's pitch dark out, but Mr. and Mrs. Coach aren't leaving until last. Mrs. Sam pulls up next to us and rolls down the window. Time to go, Sir Sam. Hi, Lady Sabre.
I'll be there in a minute, Mom. I just want to make sure Lady Sabre gets home safe.
Mrs. Sam gives a chuckle and pulls into a parking lot place farther down the lot. No, please come back. I want to be safe, remember? Out of the blue, Sir Sam says,
My mom is such a bee.
Whoa, what? Why? Why would you say that?
Because she's always doing stupid stuff like that, getting up in my business.
Tearing down your mom. A+ way to converse with a milady. He leans back with ninja stealth. He slides his hand along the concrete behind the small of my back. I turn my head and glance, letting him know that I see.
Those high socks are killing me right now.
Great. Now I'm satisfying Mr. Gentle Sir's kinks. My ride is about 15 minutes late, but it felt like many hours. Finally, I see the headlights. I get up to grab my bag on the other side of Sam and realize quickly that he has no intention of handing it to me. Instead, expecting me to bend over and pick it up. I'll either have to bend at the waist or squat to lift with my knees. He's just looking at me with an innocent smile. Can you give me the handle to my bag?
Carried it all the way out here for you, Lady Sabre. Don't be so lazy.
I am absolutely not going to put on a lap dance for this great big jerk here. His smirk is getting wider as my ride pulls through the roundabout. Finally, I have a witty comeback. I hook my foot under the handle and give it a kick upwards to my hand. I flash a smile and strut my stuff into the car. What? Oh, you thought I was done? Cute. Wait till fencing part 2. It gets worse. So for a brief moment, you could almost misconstrue this as him trying to be nice to her because he wants to stay until she gets picked up. I mean, that's normal to a degree to be there since it's dark and maybe he thinks nobody else is going to be there. He might not know that Mrs. and Mr. Coach are going to be there until last, so maybe he wants to stay there. But as soon as that happens and then he won't hand her the bag because he knows he wants to get a little peek at her, that is just so creepy. I think in that moment, if it hadn't happened any other moments, she probably should have told Mr. and Mrs. Coach, hey, this guy is making me really uncomfortable. This is what he's done so far, and this is how I feel about it. Because it sounds like they're both looking out for her, but maybe she's in that weird gray area where she knows he's being creepy, but she can't really explain why. I mean, it kind of sounds like he's riding the line exactly there because you can interpret it both ways if you really wanted to. But I mean, that last part is pretty much what tips the scale into the obviously weird territory. Some of the other stuff could definitely be interpreted as creepy, but on the flip side, he could just be really socially awkward for a lot of the stuff and not know how uncomfortable he's making her feel, which is probably why she should tell him or tell somebody. But maybe that'll happen in the next part. Let me know what you would do if you were in this situation, or if you've ever been in something like this, what happened? Let me know down below, or feel free to submit your own stories via the links down below in the description. Don't forget to drop a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and follow on Spotify.